Welcome back in. Very eventful Tuesday. Tuesday's usually a struggle bus kind of day, but certainly not the case today. That's for sure. Welcome back in, everybody. Sports Take, Derek Gunn, Barrett Brooks, Rob Ellis. What's up, Gunner? I can tell you got something on you're pensive right now.
I am.
You're pensive. Yeah.
No, I'm just enjoying the moment. I'm hanging out with two people I enjoy to hang out with and cut it up with, and to me, there's never a struggle day when we do this show. Because
I didn't think you were struggling. I thought you had something.
No. I mean, in general, I'm just responding to what you say. Usually Tuesday is kind of a struggle day.
Yeah.
But even if we make it up as we go along, it's pure entertainment.
I agree with that. I just
pure entertainment.
I don't know. I said this to you guys before. I personally am better on a Monday than I am on a Tuesday, just in terms of kind of like
me too
motivation and getting moving and all that. For whatever.
It's easier for me.
Yeah.
That's why I said a few weeks ago. When people look at Mondays as a ho hum day, not to me. I'm charged. I'm coming off a weekend,
right?
Even if I don't care if it's a free weekend or a weekend I'm working. I'm coming off a weekend. To me, I'm charged on Monday, man.
Mm-hmm.
Traditionally, people always look at Monday as that blah day. Oh my goodness, it's the first day of the week. And no, I don't care what I'm doing. On a Monday, to me, that's the most energetic day of the week is Monday. It kind of tails off on Friday to some degree, depending on what's going on. But
right.
Some people start slow, finish fast. I like to start fast and kind of taper off a little bit.
I like it. All right. Let's talk some birds here, guys. Because we do have a game Thursday, which is crazy, and as we keep mentioning, we have the trade deadline coming up shortly. But here we sit, 7-0. Best record in the NFL by far, playing in the best division in football. We tend to forget this, but Eagles are 7-0, Cowboys are 6-2, Giants are 6-2, and even Washington, who you mentioned earlier, Derek, is bringing up the caboose here, is 4-4.
Yep.
Which is better than they would be in first place in the NFC South. Let me put it to you that way.
Right.
Okay, so that's kind of where we're at. So here's the question I have for you guys before we really get into some of the Eagles stats that are just going to blow you away. For you, and I'll throw teams out there and you tell me where you're at. Biggest threats in the NFC. Cowboys, and this is kind of random, but I don't know, maybe it's in an order. Maybe I just did it, not even thinking about it. But Cowboys, 49ers, Giants, Vikings, Seahawks. Now, I realize I didn't bring up Green Bay or Tampa Bay, but I'm just not.
I wouldn't bring them up either.
You should.
One of those teams. Yeah. So for you guys, of those teams, and you feel free to add one in, by the way, if I overlook somebody. Who do you view as the biggest threat to the Eagles?
49ers.
Okay.
Bar none, 49ers. And then I would say the Vikings are second. But like I said, keep a half an eye on this Seattle team. I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And, they're playing. To me, Seattle's playing with house money right now. Nobody expected them to be anything. They started out the season 1-2. Everybody said, yep, that's the Seattle team we expected to see. Russell's gone. They have nothing on defense. There's still a work in progress on defense. The offense is exploding. But here's the thing. The last two games, the defense has not played like a bottom-tier defense in the NFL.
Yeah, they have been better. You're right. That's a great point.
What the heck is going on with this team? Yeah. But if I've categorized them, I would say definitely, even though the Niners are 4-4, that team is dangerous. I'm telling you. I would say Niners first, Vikings second, Dallas third, and Seattle fourth.
Right.
Go ahead, Beck.
Seattle would be my fourth team.
Okay.
My 15. They'd be my 15.
All right.
Next would be the Giants. My third place team would be the Vikings. Dallas, number 2. 49ers, number 1. I don't know why you guys got me always going backwards like this.
No, you were born backwards. That's the problem. You always mess everything up.
When we count down, we go backwards. This one, you could start with the biggest threat.
Yes.
This is where you would have been good just taking your.
Yes.
I've already done it. I went to Seattle.
Why you got to be so difficult all the time,
Vikings,
man?
Cowboys, 49ers. And this is why I think that the 49ers, I think the Cowboys are better than the Vikings. I don't think the Vikings have played the caliber of opponents that the Dallas has.
Right.
I think Dallas has a more complete defense. They're better on defense. Offensively, this Dallas team, They're just okay. They're just okay because they found something in Pollard. They know they can run the ball with Pollard now, so that gives them a leg up. I think on when you look at the Vikings. The Vikings are a complete team on the offensive side of the ball. Defensively, I still think that they have a long way to go as far as being a dominant defense that can stop teams. I don't know if they can necessarily stop teams. They slow teams down, and that offense can score. But I don't think they can stop teams. I think Dallas can stop a team from scoring. The Vikings can slow a team down from scoring.
Dallas can't stop the run. That's the problem.
That is
Dallas
true.
Stop the run.
But
neither can they, though.
Yeah, but
Chicago ran all up and down the field on them.
Each and every one of these teams has glaring flaws.
There you go.
That we're talking
there you go.
about, right? I guess I'm so there's two things working for me. I put Cowboys as the biggest threat, even though they struggle against the run. They would be one. I would go San Fran 2, and they really haven't earned me feeling that way. I'm projecting them getting healthy on defense and adding McCaffrey, so that's why.
That's the thing. They haven't been healthy. See, if they get healthy, if they ever get healthy, watch out for that team.
So I would go Dallas, San Fran. The other thing is, I'll fully admit this. I think I'm still biased against the Vikings because I didn't like what I saw for them against the Eagles. Maybe that's a credit to the Eagles. They just took them apart. So I have them. I would put them 3. Man, am I ready to go Seattle yet? I'd probably go Giants 4, Seattle 5.
See, here's why I put the 49ers first. Even as banged up as they have been, the 49ers are number 1 in defense. They're giving up less than 286 yards a game. They're giving up less than 19 points a game. They're giving up less than 90 yards a game rushing, less than 200 yards a game passing. They wear you down. They wear on you. Okay. And they're not healthy. I can't emphasize that enough. They're not healthy. They're playing the type of rugged football I expected them to play. And their offense is slowly getting better. You had a Christian McCaffrey to that offense. Say what you want to say about a Jimmy Garoppolo. I do not put Jimmy Garoppolo in the top 10 tier of quarterbacks in the National Football League. But what I do put him in is the category of making big plays. He's in a Kyle Shanahan offense that's very creative and very unpredictable. You have speed merchants at the key positions in that offense. You've got a rugged offensive line. You got a rugged running game to go along with these speed merchants. Their offense in a lot of ways is similar to what Kansas City does, if you think about it, and how they move pieces around and how they come up with these gadget plays. Now, they've had problems because of the injury history is a big reason why they're 4-4 right now. They gave that team to Trey Lance initially, which they never should have done, and then Jimmy Garoppolo didn't practice with the team all off season, basically because of the shoulder. And now the things are coming together. The fact that they are the number 1 defense in the league is huge in terms of doing what they need to do to get to where they're trying to go.
Look, hard to argue. I think, and they've been there before. On top of it, they've had deep runs. It's there's no clear cut biggest threat. I guess I view it this way: Dallas with Dak, with playmakers on that side of the ball, they have the second most takeaways behind the Eagles, which, by the way, they're 6 back of the Eagles for what it's worth. But guys who can take the ball away on defense, a wrecker in Parsons, Tony Pollard should be the primary. Willie, I don't know, and Dak back. I'm going to say Dallas, but it's a slight lean to Dallas. I think San Fran's in that conversation for sure.
Yeah.
So you go. So what's your list again?
I would go in terms of
wait,
threats.
Rob. Before you answer, tell him which order you're going in.
I'm
please.
going 1 to 5. Biggest threat to the back.
Right. Good.
Dallas 1, San Fran 2. This is where it gets iffy for me, but I'm going to go Giants, Vikings, Seahawks. So I go Cowboys, Niners, Giants, Vikings, Seahawks.
I think Seattle exposed the Giants to a certain degree.
Okay.
Of all teams, Seattle. I think Seattle exposed the Giants to a certain degree.
You stop Saquon, you stop the team.
There you go.
Think about it. If you're down a pretty decent margin, do you feel confident that Daniel Jones could throw you back into a game? I don't.
No, that's it right there. That's it in a nutshell. That's it in a nutshell.
I just don't.
That's why I can't put him on the list.
Yeah.
Well,
no.
When I look at, just like I say, with the 49ers, I guess when I look at this list, I'm not looking at the list from an offensive standpoint either. Let me make that clear. I'm looking at it from a defensive standpoint, and I'm looking at it from an offensive player looking at a defense that I'd have to play against. I wouldn't want to play against the 49er defense because they do a lot well in their front seven. Now they're back. They're back. Defensive backs. They're back. Back to third. They have some problems. They're not as good at the back end, with the exception of that safety. That safety they have is good, man. I mean, really good. Let me get his name. Hold on one second. Let me get his name. When I look at their safety, he is just one guy. But I mean, the rest of the secondary is just okay.
Right.
So when defensively, their linebackers lead the way. But look, I'm looking at it right now. Dre Greenlaw, he's out. He's hurt. Alec Armstead, defensive lineman, he's out. But I look at Fred Warren and Dre Greenlaw are two really, really good linebackers. Then you got Nick Bosa coming off the edge. You did have Alec Armstead coming off that same side. But when I look at the safety, I look at the secondary, I just look at what's the Polynesian kid's name? Talonoa. I got that Talonoa.
Yeah.
Hufanga.
Yes.
Hufanga. Talona Hufanga. That's his name. Talona Hufanga.
Yeah.
He's a big time player.
Right.
Reminds me a lot of Troy Polamalu. Does a lot of stuff Troy does.
Yeah, he had that big what was it, pick six in the
yes.
Was it the first time against the Rams? Yeah. Anyway, he had a bit. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah. So he may line up on the line of scrimmage, then have to get back in deep thirds. It's fast enough to get back there. But then when he gets there, he's coming downhill and trying to hit you and knock your head off. Mm-hmm. But that's why I look at it, so that's why I'll go 49ers number one because of that defense, that front seven. Then I'd go the Cowboys because their front four, their front four are just as good as anybody in the business. They know how to play well together. They run stunts great together. DeMarcus and what's that, Bohanna?
Yeah.
They run great ET and TEs. You have the best player, probably the best defensive player in the nation right now, the best defensive player in the NFL, Micah Parsons. I think he surpassed Aaron Donald right now as the premier defensive player. He'll be defensive player of the year this year. They're
averaging 4.1 sacks per game for what it's worth, which is first in the league. Eagles are second at 3.3, tied with the 49ers. So, yeah, but just an FYI.
You got Dorrance Armstrong. Mm-hmm. When they run stunt, Armstrong and Parsons run stunts, it's almost unstoppable until they played the Eagles. The Eagles stopped all that.
Yeah.
So that's why I would put them number two. Number three, I put the Vikings there because they're just going to outscore you. Their defense sucks. Well, it doesn't suck. It's just an average defense that bends. And they'll just slow teams down. They won't, then I go with the Giants. I think their Giants team, they run to the ball. They got a hard-nosed defense. Everybody's hitting. They're a physical brand of football. But I just think they're too light in the ass up front. Their defensive ends, they're just too light in the ass. They can't stop anybody, especially on the run. You can run on the outside of them. Their guys aren't big enough to hold to hold the end out there. So, say what you want to say about, what's his name? Greg Russa. Greg Russa, he's a little guy.
Yeah.
So when you got Greg Russa, and then the kid, he's from Miami.
Yeah,
it's good, but he's a tweener. He's a tweener kind of guy, kind of what you have in kind of like what you have in what's his name? Hassan Reddick. Same thing, the exact same thing as Hassan Reddick. And then on the other side, you have the kid Kayvon Thibodeau.
Yep,
kind of a tweener guy also. He doesn't stop the run well either. But once you get, that secondary, they'll come up and hit you. They'll come up and hit you in the mouth. Mm-hmm. I think they are exposed now because their whole right side is not good. Evan Neal, he's out right now. And I didn't like their guard to begin with. So they lack the ability to hold off on passing plays now because they don't have their starting right tackle now. Evan Neal is out.
Yeah.
And he was I knew he would be a focal point on how they were trying to stop him, and that's exactly what they did. They rushed off that end. They stopped the run off that end because he wasn't there.
Mm-hmm. All right, let me give you good breakdown, Barrett, by the way. Let me give you a couple things that are really encouraging Eagles-wise. 16 takeaways, which is first. They've only given it away twice. So they have a plus 14 turnover differential, which is outstanding. The second next team is the Cowboys at 8. They haven't fumbled all season, the Eagles. They have 0 fumbles. They've intercepted 10 balls. Like, these numbers are great.
Yes.
Okay, through 7 games.
Absolutely.
Really, really.
But you can't get on our bandwagon.
That's right.
Nope. You don't blitz a rookie, untested quarterback, I got problems.
I had a problem with that also. I thought, because remember we had talked about that. We had talked about that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We had talked about that. I thought this would be the perfect time to show people that you can't blitz.
Straight from the movie, Remember the Titans. You blitz all night long, and you let them remember the night they played the Eagles front 7. Did they do that?
That got me goosebumps, dog.
I know. I got chills just saying that.
Hey, so let me hit you with this. So the Eagles play the Texans on Thursday. According to a couple of reports, Brandon Cooks is not there through walkthrough. He has been a trade discussion target for a lot of people. So slight chance that he may be moved today, and the Eagles may not have to face him. So that would be
the Rams are trying to get him.
Nice little break. Yeah. So right now, the Lions would pick first. The Texans would pick second because the Lions are 1-6, but the Texans are 1-5-1. So you're talking about Lions who just started waving the white flag with the Hawkinson trade. Texans going to start unloading people. Panthers have already started, and that'll continue. They're 2-6. Now the next team's the Steelers. I don't necessarily see the Steelers doing that, but those first 3 teams are going to be in a fight to try and get, number 1 pick or whatever. So it'll be interesting to see what happens if Cooks gets traded. He's no stranger to moving around throughout his career.
No,
so he may end up getting dealt. That's for sure. So a couple other things Eagles wise. They're scoring the 3rd most points at 28. They're running 140, almost 150 per game, 6th. Passing 245.9, that's 10th. Defensively, they're 4th at 16.9 points per allowed. Rushing, which I want to get into in 1 second, they're at 114.7 given up. That's 15th. Real good against the pass. They're 4th against the pass, only giving up 183 yards per game. So let's talk about the running game, guys, because they're giving up a good amount of chunks on the ground here to teams. How concerning is the Eagles' run defense for you, Barrett Brooks?
Not concerning. I do think they have the capabilities of stopping the run when they have to stop the run. What you saw was teams you saw them get beat by teams that ran the ball when they're really supposed to be passing the ball. They were trying to get back into the game, and usually you pass to get back in the game. So they just didn't have their run defense out there to really stop the run. It would be concerning if they put their run defense out there and they still couldn't stop it, then I'd be concerned. But they're running against a 6-man box because everybody else will try to pass to get into the game. They were running to get back into the game, so that's the reason why they lost the game the way they lost the game.
Right.
They really couldn't throw them anyway, so they had to run the ball. So they were in their nickel defense as opposed to being in their base defense when they in which they can stop the run. Only way that I would be, kind of thinking about it is because of Jordan Davis is not in the lineup right now. Mm-hmm. And he could be out 4 to 6
weeks. There you go.
What I go.
Yeah, and they wouldn't. Sirianni, by the way, today would not be. He was very non-specific when it came to Jordan Davis, for what it's worth. But I think you read the tea leaves here. You're not going to be seeing him anytime soon.
Right.
Would be the guess.
Right.
With that kind of injury, with that large a man, I think it's going to be a little bit, for Jordan, and that's a shame because he was really starting to come on, man. I think he was starting to get it. That's too bad.
That run defense is significantly weakened without Jordan Davis in the middle of that defense. And in a span of 3 consecutive weeks, you play Green Bay, Tennessee, and who's the other opponent? The Giants. All 3 can run the ball well.
Yeah.
3 consecutive weeks. Then Dallas can run the ball well. and then you have the Giants again. You have the Saints again. You have 4 or 5 opponents that may not have the best quarterback play, but they can run the ball well. And if an opponent can run the ball as well as you have, guess what? They control the clock as well as you're controlling the clock as well. See, so yes, that's a genuine concern. Not having a mobile house there for 4 to 6 weeks, and those teams are coming up.
Mobile house.
Yeah, and those teams are coming up on your schedule.
Yeah,
it makes those games that much closer. Plain and simple.
Yeah, I listen. I agree with you, and the primary objective certainly for Tennessee and the Giants is going to be pounded. And Green Bay, I think, has started to figure out this is the way they have to go. It's almost
they don't
like
have
the
a
Eagles
choice.
last year. Yeah,
they ran for 183 on Buffalo's defense.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, that's something the Eagles are going to have to be on guard for, and this is where your older guys who play in the interior are going to have to step up.
That's exactly what it is. But I also think that they could still run that. They could still run that. The 50 defense.
Yeah.
You would just have to put Hargraves at the nose, and he's used to playing the nose. That's where he played when he was with
Pittsburgh.
Yeah, with Pittsburgh. And then you just move in Milton Williams, and I think you've kind of put a Band-Aid at the spot, that in which Jordan Davis has evacuated.
Right.
And I think it'll work. I think you have an explosive front good enough to not get blown off the ball and still go out there and make a difference in the run game. With Quinn being there, I would actually venture to say that you could actually put BG and Sweat in there, because you don't have to. You can have almost like a NASCAR defense with with them being there. You wouldn't need Jordan. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I'm glad
they got a lot of options.
I'm glad you brought up BG. I'm glad you brought that up, because he only played 13 snaps on Sunday because of a hamstring injury. Think about that.
Yeah, now, he was limited in practice leading up.
Yes.
Yeah.
You start thinking about that hamstring. You know how those things linger.
Yep.
Okay.
Sorry, Derek. Go ahead.
No, you start talking about a D lineman who predicates his game on getting that burst off the snap. But if you get that burst and all of a sudden you grab the back of that thigh, that's a bad thing. You're already down Jordan Davis. You don't know how ineffective or effective Brandon Graham is going to be playing only 13 snaps. So that kind of handcuffs you. I don't disagree with you, Barrett, but I'm just saying now it's starting to handcuff you in terms of what you can do up front.
Well, it's been starting to handcuff him because, he's just an older player. When you're dealing with older players, man, it's just the nature of the beast. We were talking earlier on about this team playing the young guys a lot more. This is where you can have these young guys like Milton Williams step up, Marlon Tuipulotu.
There you go.
Marlon Tuipulotu has to step up. Those type of guys got to be, frontline players for you now. Those are 2 backups that we said they only play 30% of the time. They need to be amped up 45, maybe 50% of the time. Both guys sharing the reps at that opposite 3 technique of Fletcher Cox. Maybe you have to put the young guys in a substantial amount of time just so you don't run Hargraves and Fletcher Cox into the ground. This is a marathon. It's not a sprint. And right now is where you need to start taking some reps away from those older guys. The Fletcher Coxes, the Hargraves. These younger guys got to start stepping it up now. Now, that's why I can see you could put Sweat down inside at the 3 technique, Milton Williams at the 3 technique, Marlon Tuipulotu at the 3 technique, instead of just playing, Hargraves and Cox for the rest, for that long, elongated period of time, because you're going to need them come playoff time. You're going to need them.
Yeah. I wonder, do they sit Brandon Graham this week?
I think they would.
I wouldn't mind sitting him Thursday night.
You get him tons of time.
Let me ask you guys
the mini bye.
Yeah. Let me ask you guys this. I'm curious to hear your response to this. So the Eagles pulled their starters with 9 minutes to go in the game, right?
Yep.
Think about this. Why wasn't Nakobe Dean on the field?
He's not ready.
Yeah.
Not ready for what?
For playing valuable minutes.
Okay. Those were not valuable minutes though, because the game was well in hand. There's no way the Steelers are coming back, right? In that game.
Right.
What a better time to put a kid in who's not ready. And I don't disagree with you, Bear. That's not ready. What a better time to put a kid in and let him make mistakes to see in game film Why was he? He didn't get one defensive snap. Not one.
Yeah.
Wow.
Why?
I didn't even think about it, man.
It's an interesting thought.
I didn't think about it. You know, another name you might end up hearing a little bit is Noah Ellis. They might bring him up from the practice squad. You know, maybe bring him practice squad or you know, I mean, who else do they have? Well, Marvin Wilson, he's still at the practice squad. In fact, I see him going in before anybody else.
Yeah, that's right. Forgot about
Marvin. He played a lot of reps. He was pretty good too.
Mm-hmm.
So either him, I think he's the next guy up. He's the next
so what
man
position
guy.
does he play?
Plays D tackle. I mean, he plays the true nose. If they're gonna bring anybody up, it will be Marvin Wilson. Marvin Wilson is a true nose guard. He's a true head up nose. In fact, let me look at his intangibles. Give you a good sense of it. All right, 6'3", 303. He can play that nose guard position. That's where he plays. From Florida State, he can move the crowd. Had a great camp. In fact, I thought he played better than Marlon Tuipulotu. I think he played better than he did. He played very effectively. So I see them bringing him up. He might be the guy that they're going to replace the big fella with and put him on injury reserve, I guess. They could put him on injury reserve.
If you put him on IR, then he's definitely out 6 weeks.
Yes, that would be
a little tricky one.
But is he that hurt though? We still don't know. He might just have a regular ankle sprain as opposed to a high ankle sprain.
Dude,
high
that man had a boot and a crutch.
He just may be soft.
I don't want to say that. I'll let you say that. I ain't saying that.
Well, I'm just saying. I mean,
because I was told
he don't have high pain tolerance. There's some guys that don't have high pain tolerance.
Well, see, I was
not soft. Let me take soft out of the equation.
Yeah, because once that gets on Twitter, you can't take it back.
Yeah, you know, I'm not saying soft. I mean, he doesn't have a high pain tolerance. We don't know, or maybe he does have a high ankle sprain.
We honestly don't know. I mean,
does that fall into the category of some players need to learn the difference between hurt and injured?
Some players do. Some players do. Some players haven't been hurt or injured and don't know the difference between the two.
There's a big difference between being hurt and injured.
Yeah, when you're hurt, you're going to be hurt from this point on. In fact, I'm always hurt. I'm hurt every day. You know what I'm saying? My body hurts every day, but I'm not injured. You know what I'm saying?
Your body hurting from you out there working on cars and stuff. That's different. Your back hurting, you're bending over, working on cars.
Shoulders hurt, man. Shoulders be killing me.
Let's give Barrett. Let's give him a rest. We got a little rest. Take a timeout. We'll come back. We'll get into Jalen Hurts a little bit, guys, and the Texans. But the kind of season coming off that game.
Hold on. What? John Dickinson, don't you do that, man.
What? Jacob media tweet up. Bear Brooks and Davis. Oh, snap.
Come on.
Whoa, snap.
I'm not saying it. I'm just saying
that's why I said you said I didn't. That's
we don't know what his injury is. I mean, he may just have an ankle sprain, which is not a high ankle sprain. Because you do high ankle sprains, ankle sprains are when your ligaments are involved with it. You know, that's when you really hurt.
See, that's why I said when I'm done with this industry, I'm done with social media. You ain't quoting nothing from me. I'm done. I don't care one iota about social media. I'm done with social media.
Hey, quickly, we got some movement here, guys.
Uh-oh.
Chase Claypool traded to the Bears.
What? If I'm Chase Claypool, I retire from the National Football League right now.
Field Yates from ESPN reporting Chase Claypool, wide receiver for the Steelers, who can flat out play, is going to the Bears. If I'm Justin Fields, I'm loving life. That is
no question about that.
Yeah, but they just gave away their two best linebackers, and then you go out and get a frontline wide receiver.
It is kind of a weird move in that sense. You're right, Derek.
Well, because I'm talking to a buddy of mine.
You're building around that quarterback.
Yeah, you got Mooney
but you're
now,
weakening
who's
your defense.
Legit. You got Mooney, who's legit, and Claypool. He's got some nice weapons and a running game.
You've severely weakened your defense, but you're enhancing your offense. What the heck are you telling the players in the locker room?
They view it as, they're not going to say it's the players. We're still bad enough to lose, but we're building towards the future now.
See, a friend of mine in Chicago said the Bears are building draft capital, giving up Roquan Smith. Okay, I get that. But then, okay, you basically telling players, okay, we're tanking for next year.
Traded a second rounder.
You go out and get a frontline guy like Claypool,
which is actually a pretty good deal.
It is, but it doesn't make sense if you're not. Why
That
would
was
you
their first
weaken
round
one
draft
entity?
choice.
But you weaken one entity and strengthen the other? You're trying to strengthen both if you can.
It's an offensive league, bro. They saw what they saw what AJ Brown did to them, and they're thinking, "Oh, we got to go get us a frontline player like that." Look how good their quarterback is playing because he's got a frontline player. We want the same thing with our guy.
Yep. All right, so we still got plenty of time here, 2.5 hours until the trade deadline. So as they keep coming in, we'll keep talking about it. So we'll dive a little bit more into some of the stuff that's happening around the NFL. Will the Eagles make a move is the big question. That's for sure. So we'll come back. We'll keep talking Eagles and the NFL. At 2 o'clock, we're going to dive into last night's game a little bit more. The Colts firing Marcus Brady, Roquan trade, Robert Saleh, Cooper Kupp, Matt LaFleur, a lot to get to, and risers, as if you will, as well. So we'll do all of that when we get back. Don't go anywhere. Derek Gunn, Barrett
Go
Brooks.
give me some Halloween goodies.
Oh, look at you. Rob Ellis, We Are Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. Let's talk about our great friends at Flynn Tree Services. Yes, Flynn Tree Services is an experienced, licensed, and insured Pennsylvania tree services company that will trim or remove any unwanted trees off of your property. They offer cost-effective solutions to any tree problem that you may face. So ask yourself the question, do you have any issues in your yard or your property right now? If you do, they're just a quick phone call away. They are experts trimming all types of trees, and they serve southeastern Pennsylvania, South Jersey, and northern Delaware. Flynn Tree Services specializes in tree removal, stump grinding, as well as tree pruning. Now, keep in mind, we're in hurricane season. We're in storm season. It's a good time to have your trees evaluated. Make sure everything's okay on that end. Go to their Facebook or Instagram for more information or a sampling of their work. Give Flynn Tree Services a call at 610-850-2848, 610-850-2848, or online at flynntreeservices.com. That's flynntreeservices.com.